Okay, 3 top workouts for people who want to build their endurance, their speed endurance, to get faster for the run during CrossFit. You're essentially, before we get into the top 3, what you're trying to do is you're trying to become as fast as you possibly can after you've done a bunch of stuff, right? So you're going to do a bunch of stuff that's going to be accumulating lactic in the body. You're trying to clear that as much as you can. So endurance is going to really help that. So that's going to help. What I'm about to tell you is going to help with the weights as well. It's not just about the running. It's about doing that stuff comfortably or controlled, and then being able to go as fast as you possibly can for up to a mile, sometimes up to 3.5 miles, 4 miles. Got to be ready for whatever they throw at you. So number 1 workout, I'm going to do a series of, you're going to do your weight training, then you're going to do a series of 20 times 400 meters, and you're just going to have 60 seconds rest in between. So all you're going to focus on is quality and control for those 400 meters. So you're going to go as fast as you possibly can. So look at your mile time and try to run each of those 20 in your mile time. So your fastest mile time, let's say that's 5 minutes. Then you're running each of those 400 meters in about 69 to 74 seconds, depending on the maths. And then your 60 seconds, super important, right? So within your games, within your competition, it's all about recovering as fast as you possibly can so you can go hard again, yeah? So within that 60 seconds, you're not just stopping and you're kind of like walking around, you've got your hands on your knees, you may be lying on the floor. Your job is to get as recovered as possible, to get the heart rate as down as possible, to clear all the lactic acid, to get as much fresh air into your body as possible so you can get good stuff to the muscles as quickly as possible. So I'm stopping that 400 meters. It's been hard, the heart rate's been high. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my heart rate from 165, 170, 175 back to 120s, yeah? Just out through the mouth, in through the nose. What you'll notice, you'll almost get high. It's almost like the breathing that you would do before doing something medicinal, before doing something that's all about recovery. Do that as aggressively as you possibly can, to a point where you're not blacking out, but you're just clearing all the nonsense out of your body and you're getting as much oxygen in so that you're ready to go. And you will watch over the weeks and over the sessions, you will see your heart rate just fly down from top, like 165 to 175 beats, which should be controlled. It should be around about your 5 minute mile pace, or your top speed mile pace. You should be able to get that from top level, 165 to 180 beats, all the way down to the 120 to 130 mark. Easily. You should be able to do that, and it comes with a trained body. Don't be disillusioned if this can't happen for a session, but you can make it happen. So not just 20 times 400 meters, but practice bringing your heart rate down from top level all the way down to bottom level, yeah? That's gonna help you. Whatever you're trying to do, that's gonna help you. Recovering on the go, if you're training for longer distance and you've got to recover just say you've got 10-15 seconds in between something, just want to give yourself a breather, but you don't want to lose much time. If you become an expert at recovering very quickly and lowering that heart rate, you're becoming a superhuman. Next section, we're going to build it up. So we're going to get to a point where you're building speed, but you're able to again recover very quickly and do lots of them, right? So we're going to do 6 times 5 minutes on the treadmill, but we're going to put the incline at 5%, yeah? So we're going to be doing hill reps 6 times 5 minutes. Now, if you've not done any hill work before, if you've not ran that far before, if you've not ran 30 minutes, yeah, we're splitting this up into 5 minute chunks. We're going to give you 60 seconds rest in between, which again, bring that heart rate down from what it will be, which will probably be a little bit lower than the 400 meters, but it's still going to be high, and you're still doing hills, so it might be a shock to the body. But 6 times 5 minutes with 60 seconds in between, Like, let's focus on form. So let's focus on the big power muscles, the glutes, the hamstrings, doing the work on the 5% gradient. Make sure your drink's there, you're ready to drink on the go after your rep. And let's make sure that you're putting it at a pace, you're putting the treadmill at a pace that you can comfortably hit those 6 times 5 minutes without gassing out, without going too much into the red. There's too much lactic in your body that you can't clear it and you end up having to slow down. Let's be comfortable. So don't be scared of starting too slow and then being able to kind of pick it up towards the end. But don't have this as like the workout that ends all workout. Make sure that you've always got a little bit in the tank at the end. So what I'd suggest is whenever you're doing interval training for running, treat it like you would treat any kind of like high intensity workout, because that's essentially what it is. Treat it like any high intensity workout, that if there was a gun to your head, you could do another 2 reps. Always treat it like that. And that's the way that you move forward consistently without getting injured, especially if you're factoring in speed, if you're factoring in endurance, some more volume, if you're factoring in hills, there's going to be stresses on your body that you want to get used to at a slower speed. So if you're doing hills, essentially your Achilles is going to be under a little bit more stress. Your calves, and even though you want your hamstrings and your glutes to be doing the work, those muscles are going to be working. Hey, get on the video. Go. This is CrossFit Cat. So yeah, be ready for that. But I promise you, in terms of time and the bang for your buck, there's no better workout for running than hill reps and long hill reps. Especially get your glutes engaged, get them firing, get your hamstrings engaged, really be pushing forward. Your form's going to improve. Keep your arms high, yeah. And once you get to that point where you can do 6, maybe if your endurance is low at the moment, start with 2 or 3, or start with 6 times 2 minutes or 6 times 3 minutes and gradually build up. But if you can do 6 times 5 minutes at 5% gradient, it's going to be slower than your mile time, of course, but if you can start to do that on fresh legs, at around about your mile pace at 5%, then think about how easy it is. Once you've done with your weights and you're about to do let's say 5 minutes or a mile time trial, however fast it's going to be for you, you're going to fly because it's on the flat. It's really easy for you, yeah. So the progression from there, once you get that hit, is to increase the amount of minutes that you're doing or increase the speed. So you can go one of 2 ways. You can build up to 3 times 10 minutes and then 4 times 10 minutes and then 5 times 10 minutes, again with a minute rest. So you're doing all that 10 minutes, and then you're recovering in between so you can go again. Again, keep the treadmill gradient at 5% because again, your running form is going to improve. You're going to become more efficient at moving over flat ground by doing a lot in the gym at 5%. If you can find a hill, you can get outside and somebody can support you, even better. But when you're on a treadmill, you've got a drink there, you can just easily drink after each thing. It's easier to track. And usually the conditions in the gym all year round are going to stay around about the same temperature, and it's going to be a more efficient session in terms of your warm up and your cool down. Plus you've got the weights there, everything's easy and everything's accessible. You can do that and you can go long towards 10 minutes, and don't forget that you've got, like, once you do your 5 minutes and you're comfortable at those, you can easily move up 6 minutes intervals, 7-minute interval, 8-minute, 9-minute, 10-minute interval. You can easily move that way, or you can just go to 2 times 10 minutes and then 3 times 10 minutes and then 5 times 10. You do 5 times 10 minutes at 5% at your mile pace on fresh legs, or even after a workout in the gym. You're unstoppable. Now you can go the other way, and both will complement each other really, really well. So you can do those long intervals that are definitely going to help your endurance, and it's probably your endurance that is suffering. It's probably endurance that's been neglected because you've done all the stuff in the HIIT training, the weights that you're lifting, plus you're sprinting. You're probably hitting both of those sides if you want to become better, and you're probably obsessed by now, and that's why you're watching this video. But your endurance is probably being neglected, and once you pick up your endurance, your whole game, your weights, your mile time trial, your 400 meter time trial, it's all going to improve because you've got a bigger engine, you're building a bigger engine that's going to feed back into that, yeah? But another beautiful session that I love to incorporate is 30-second sprints, yeah, but doing lots of them and having a really, really short recovery. Yeah, so you can do 20 times 30-second sprints with 15 seconds recovery in between. That's going to build your power muscles, it's going to build your glutes. It's not going to give you enough rest to bring your heart rate down, but what it's going to teach you in those 15 seconds is that every single millisecond is vital. And what that's going to do for you is going to put your heart rate up there, and after 2, 3, 4, you're going to see your heart rate really high. And then what you're going to see is within those 15 seconds, you're able to bring your heart rate down 20 or 30 beats really, really quickly, which makes your heart rate super efficient, which means you're pumping blood around super efficient, which means your stroke volume, the amount of blood that you can pump in a single stroke and a single heartbeat, is more efficient. So you can bring your heart rate down naturally. When your heart rate is clicking, that's because your stroke volume isn't as high and your heart isn't as trained, so that muscle isn't as strong as what it could be. And that's great because you've got loads of untapped potential that you can open that door to and just take advantage of. Hope that's useful. So that's 3, if not 4, amazing workouts to get better at not just your running, because that's super important, but what's going to feed into the rest of what you need to do, whether that's rowing, air bike, weights, even the weights. It's going to make you a better lifter if you can do that and do it well. Good luck.